that you have asked me to share a brief account of my own experiences in postgraduate education, mentoring, PG students, mentoring, etc. I'm happy about this topic because I myself am a mentor for several PhD students, both as guides and co-guides, and also postdoctoral students have trained in my laboratory. Now, where I have been impressed most is when I was a postgraduate master's student at the University of Agricultural Sciences. My mentor was Dr. K.C. Devraj Aras, a very great entomologist and a thorough gentleman. Now, I would like to point out a few mentoring qualities in him which I had myself imbibed and carried forth. One is Dr. Aras never ever got put off by his students. He used to call them by their first name. He used to call me Abraham, which appealed to me, and a very highly educated person. He told me that you are in MSc and you have a great future, and I am only here to facilitate that future of yours. So he told me, when you do your masters, we had to do a master's thesis under him, and he told me, do a thesis in which you understand how to do research, how to put forth a good hypothesis, how do you do analysis, observe the insects, and come out with good inferences in a short possible time. So be at it. And we had actually a trimester system going, and in all we had 6 trimesters, and in about 2 trimesters he enabled me to finish my research work, and by the 3rd trimester he permitted me to write a thesis, and I had to complete that thesis within the allotted time of 2 years, and only then I would be eligible for an examination called the Agriculture Research Service Examination, which is a prerequisite to become a scientist in the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. And we were 2 students under Dr. Aras, and both of us were able to complete on time, write the exam, and enter ICAR. And so I'm extremely thankful to the late Dr. Aras. And what I learned from him is students' career are an important dimension apart from the scholastic inputs a mentor would be giving. Now, even when I was doing my PhD as an in-service student, I joined the University of Agricultural Sciences and did my PhD under Dr. Devraj Aras only because I valued his mentorship. And I could finish my thesis in 3 years. Now, I'm bringing this time element because I have found that PhD in certain universities, especially the traditional universities, drags on for no rhyme or reason as far as I could see. I had a student where I was a co-guide because she had to take up a study in agricultural entomology, and her guide, who was a non-entomologist, was a academic administrative chairman, and my student completed the whole work in about 3 years' time, and for the next 5 years she had to spend writing 2 papers. The thesis was not corrected, and the viva was not arranged, the thesis was not sent, and I failed to understand why the whole thing was kept dragging. But it affected the morale of the student and mine morale too. And this is not an exceptional case. This is something which has been common in many universities. Even now, I find that I know only about the biological sciences group and maybe the chemistry group also, I'm not very sure. But PhD students should not be detained beyond a period of 4 or 5 years. By then, they have to be encouraged to finish the topic. PhD students should not be asked to do the impossible and therefore frustrate them. And in this respect, I always appreciate my own university, the University of Agricultural Sciences, where I did my PhD. Almost all the students complete on time, between 3 and 4 years, and their career is almost taken care of by their mentors. And that should be the spirit, that should be the principle with which it should move on. Another important dimension a mentor should do is to allow the student to get into a creative mode, be original, and without hurting or frustrating the students, allow him or her to do a PhD that would finish on time. The time framework is something which has to be adhered to, is not currently being adhered in many universities, and I think that reformation should come in. UGC should question if a student submits a thesis after 6 years. Why? The guide has to give an explanation. And I encourage the students also, if they are finding bottlenecks in getting their thesis moved and thesis approved and Viva was conducted on time, meet with the registrar, vice chancellor, talk with the academic council, and if need be, there are other regulatory processes in the government which are very student friendly and especially women friendly. So make use of all that, complete your thesis. So I wish all the students listening to me all the best. Thank you very much.